Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
Okay, buddy.
We're live. We clear?
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Universal Broadcasting Network's hit afternoon show, bringing you the latest in music news, artist interviews, and more, with your hosts, Lauren Dair Owens, Ariel Fournier, and Adam Lusk. This is The Music Project.
Hey everybody, it's Lauren Dair Owens.
And Ariel Fournier.
And Adam is still gone.
Yep, it's all good.
That
though.
prom is lasting a really long time. Just a really long
I thought it's because he
prom.
was sick.
Oh yeah. No, I was joking because he was out last week for prom. He's making up all these excuses. I think he's done with us. I think he's just getting sick
He's
on
too
purpose
cool for
now.
us now.
Oh, no. I mean, he was texting me about how we were going to go to Six Flags right after this was done.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, because he hates us all. But
Nah, we're just kidding. We love you, Adam.
Nah. But we have an awesome guest this week. I've known him since I was a little midget 12-year-old. And we were in a band long ago. But now he's doing an amazing solo project. And he's here to tell us all about it. Mr. Colin Huntley. Hey, Colin. Are you there?
So,
There you go. There we go. We hear you now. How you doing?
Hi, Colin.
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
We're doing
Great.
good.
And you're calling all the way from Texas. How's the weather over there?
It's good. Yeah, I don't know if the y'all gave it away, but yeah,
The y'all.
Central Texas.
Awesome.
It's hot. It's hot for sure.
How hot is it over there?
It's been in the late 90s for the past few days. It's supposed to get up in the hundreds next week, so it's getting there.
Ooh, you're doing better than California. We're nice and somewhat chilly still, so I feel your pain. So can you tell everyone just how you got started in music? I mean, you've been playing guitar for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I got started in music basically kind of from my grandfather. He was a professional musician his whole life, and he encouraged me to start picking up an instrument. I didn't really want to do it at first, and then the game Guitar Hero came out. That kind of got me interested in it, and I'm sure a lot of people have that same story. But I started playing guitar, then realized that wasn't enough. I wanted to sing, so I sang horribly for a few years, and I found a good vocal coach who somehow coached me to sound well, which taught me that maybe a person can learn to sing, because I definitely did not have a natural talent. But yeah, I mean, I took it from there, started writing songs, and started meeting people. I went and played a showcase in Florida when I was 13, and it was really underdeveloped at the time, but there were some people that saw some stuff in me, and a couple years down the line, I ended up getting back in contact with those people, and it's actually what led to the project I just finished and I'm kind of promoting right now. But yeah, it's just building relationships, and it all kind of started with just a love of playing blues guitar a few years ago.
That's great. I remember we were playing your show, and my mom was talking to someone and said, we have never seen a little 14-year-old play guitar like that. Like, you play better than some adults, and it's true. You have fast little fingers, my friend.
But
Well, that's what not having a whole lot of friends in middle school does for you. You know?
But you just
like
recently came out with your latest EP, Best I Never Had, on March 23rd, 2014, and it is blowing up. We are so happy and excited for you. How has it been having such a great response?
It's been pretty cool. You know, I wasn't really sure what people were going to think of it. I wasn't sure who would be listening to it, where they would be listening to it from, but it's really taking off, especially kind of in South America, I've noticed.
Wow.
So it's taken on a life of its own pretty quickly. The music video is doing really well. I'm blown away by the response it's getting.
Yeah, 200,000
and
views. That's a little ridiculous.
In what, a month? I think it's like been a month, yeah.
Yeah, it dropped about a month ago, and yeah, I mean, the single is great. I love the single. It's been great to perform it live. The band that I have in Texas is really starting to take off. We've been playing in middle schools and developing a fan base locally and stuff like that. But it really is taking on a life of its own. It's really cool to see.
And where did you film the music video?
We did it in downtown Los Angeles, actually.
There's so many gorgeous shots. If
Yeah.
you guys haven't seen it, go look up Best I Never Had. Like, just the whole cinematography of it is just really well
Nice.
shot and put together. It's really well edited.
Yeah, the guy, the director, Nea Poemos, he was referred to me by a guy that I work with named Jason. But he was really phenomenal and had a great vision from the very start, and they picked out some great locations and really captured the moments really well. So
That's awesome. And how did you come up with your title track, Best I Never Had? Like, what was kind of going through your mind when you were writing it?
you know, it's funny. It was a song that I wrote on my own and at home after a little experience that I had. I had some trouble with girls, and I was thinking about this one girl that I'd known that I'd kind of overlooked for a little while, and it kind of came from an experience of, there's this girl over here that I've been overlooking that is actually pretty fantastic, and that's where the initial idea of the song came from. And it was like, you're the best I never had. For some reason, I've never had you. I should have by now because you're great. And that's kind of where that first line came from. And then the song concept kind of changed a little bit. I went and co-wrote the song, kind of rewrote it with a guy named Keith Follacy, and it took on a different perspective. But the initial line came from that experience.
That's awesome. Well, why don't we go ahead? Do we have that queued up, Garrett?
We have which one?
Best I Never Had.
We do. Hold
All right,
on.
well, why don't we go
one
ahead and listen to
second.
We have to put it in the right order. We have
Yes.
songs out of order.
Gotta move stuff around, and
Here we go. We're going to listen to Best I Never Had.
Feels like I'm trapped in a revolving door, going around in circles, going back and forth. Do I tell you the truth or do I hold it back? I'm just so scared of how you might react. Oh, why'd you have to go and be so beautiful? Who wouldn't want to have themselves a girl like you? Talking to the in my lines, thinking of ways to tell you that you are the best, best, best I never had. The best, best, best I never had. No, the best, best, best I never had. But 3 a.m. is just about the normal time that I fall asleep and finally get you off my mind. But tomorrow's different 'cause I've got
catchy tune.
Yeah, I know it is. It's so catchy.
You are the man. I catch myself singing all the time, but definitely a reason why it's the name
Title
of your
track,
album.
yeah.
Thank you.
Making sure you're still
We
with
were like,
us.
is he gone? Did we lose him? Are we alone for like another 30 minutes? But no. So can you tell us some of your inspirations and who really inspires you when it comes to writing music?
And you know me, Lauren. So you know
I know,
that
but
John Mayer
I know.
is number one and always will be number one. John Mayer is Bay.
Bay for life.
But I have evolved, a lot recently. In particular, on this project, kind of some of the leading influences coming into this was bands like The Script and One Republic. One Republic's a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love them. So it's kind of rock bands and pop artists. I love pop music. I love Bruno Mars and people like that. But I also love the rock element that a band like One Republic brings. So there's just a lot of pop rock influences.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Ed Sheeran by now.
And Ed Sheeran, it's funny though because I'm an enormous Ed Sheeran fan. But on this project in particular, I don't know if I would necessarily go as far to say if he influenced it.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the rappiness on some of the songs he did,
Yeah.
but I am a giant Ed Sheeran fan.
I was just thinking, I'm like, well, the fact that you screamed at me when I met him, I thought you would have mentioned his name first off. But now that makes sense. You take different influence for you take different influences for different projects. That is very
Definitely.
true. Very true.
But I know we talked a little bit about your writing, so let's get deeper into that. How do you just like to sit down and write, or just something pop in your head? And do you start with a guitar, start with melody? How do you write?
Yeah, I mean, the way that I write, there's no set way that I write. A lot of times it comes from experience, but sometimes it comes from I'll draw from past experiences, and it usually comes down to it either starts with a guitar part that I come up with when I'm just messing around, or just one little line that I get in my head when I'm at school and I should probably be doing schoolwork. But it's usually just one idea that I'll get, whether it's musical or lyrically, and I'll just build from there.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
And do you have a specific topic that you like to write about? I mean, I know love is always one that people focus on, but is there anything else that tends to draw your attention?
Yeah, I mean, love songs, I write a lot of those, and my bandmates give me a lot of crap about that sometimes, but there's that. And then one thing that I like to write about and is on my heart a lot is just kind of overcoming, I guess what people would say, your lack of potential, I guess. Yeah. Because, you get that a lot, especially when you have a bigger dream. People like to tell you that it's not really possible. So overcoming people's reactions or thoughts towards if your dreams are actually realistic, I like to write about that. That's an interesting topic for me.
That's great. That's definitely a new one. I don't think we've heard that one
Yeah, we
before.
haven't heard that yet. But you and your band, you guys have been performing all over the place since the EP has been released. What has been some of your favorite places so far, and if you'll talk about a few of those concerts?
Actually, my favorite gig we've done, some of the favorite gigs we've done have been at middle schools. Those are always fun. But the favorite one was actually the weekend before this one. We played at Red Poppy Festival, which is a small local festival in my local town, Georgetown, Texas. But it's a small little festival. It's growing a little bit every year, but we opened for the opening act. And we're not a country band at all, but the two acts after us were both country bands. So they were attracting a lot of people. Were getting there early for those bands, and we were playing for their audience. And it was just interesting to see the way they responded. They responded really well.
That's awesome,
to us,
then.
but they weren't expecting us at all.
Were you a little nervous about
it? Nervous. I mean,
just because if you have this big country following that people are looking for these country bands, were you kind of a little nervous on how they would receive your music?
I mean, to an extent, and you think about that stuff sometimes, but it was just really an honor to be playing on a stage like that. I've wanted to play on that stage since I was a little kid. I used to play on the street next to the stage for money. So I was a little too excited to even think about nerves.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on reaching that goal. I mean, that's always great when you've been dreaming about something or you thought about it forever and you finally do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a great feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
So you finished an EP. You have this music video out. What is your next step? What is the next thing you're working on? You're going to work on writing some more? Are you going to take a little break and work on touring or another music video? What is your next step?
I know this summer we have a couple of plans. We're going to try to play as many shows, maybe get out on kind of like a Central Texas tour, go as far out as we can, play as many shows as we can for as many people as we can. I know that's kind of the initial plan, but I also have plans to get in the studio again. I have a few songs that I think could really be strong singles in the future, and there's some guys from a band called Blue October that I've made good contact with, and they had a huge hit a few years ago, and they live in the Austin area, and I made good friends with them, got to open for them, and they have a studio, and they're gonna record for me. So
that's awesome.
I'm gonna pretty much get together with those guys, and they're gonna write and record with me, and we're gonna look at doing some projects together with them.
Awesome. That sounds like you got your plan together.
Yeah.
You know what you're working on. You got it all planned out.
And
I mean, I got to do something this summer.
And do you know of any specific shows right now that you can let people know about that you have like upcoming?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. We're doing a lot of acoustic stuff this summer. On my website, though, there's an upcoming shows tab that you can check out, and right now we're just all of our future dates are in Texas. So if you live in Texas, you can probably come check us out. But if you just go to the website, you can check out the upcoming shows and see what all is planned.
Well, why don't you go ahead and give us all your social media since we're talking about it for people that are listening that don't know you?
Yeah, absolutely. Instagram, it's my favorite one by far. Instagram is Colin Huntley Music. It's Colin with one L. That always bothers me when people spell it with two. It's Instagram, COLIN, Huntley.com, Colin Huntley Music. And then the website is ColinHuntley.com. And then Twitter is Colin Huntley LA. And Facebook is Colin Huntley. So.
Awesome.
Sweet.
And you've been going all over. I mean, you came out here for a little bit and worked on music. You went to Nashville and did some writing. What is it like? Is there a different environment in all these different places when you write?
I actually thought it was really, really unique. Now that you mentioned that, we went and wrote and recorded the new EP in Nashville, and there's such a great songwriting vibe in that town. And as far as like crafting music, you go to that town and it has such a great feel for just crafting music. But then you come to a place like LA to shoot a video for these fantastic songs that you made in Nashville, and the feels, they couldn't be any more different. You get such a different atmosphere in both different places. But, you come and you want to shoot a gorgeous video, and there's really no better place to do in LA. That's why there's so much entertainment there, because it's just such a gorgeous place to be. So, I mean, the attitudes and atmospheres are so different between the two different places, but they were actually a perfect combo between writing the music in Nashville and shooting the video in LA.
It's so funny because I remember I was going to Nashville and I texted Colin and we were flying in on the same day.
Oh yeah, I remember
and
that.
I hadn't seen him in about a year. I'm like, Mom, we have to go see Colin. And he's like, I'm busy every day, but tonight. I'm like, we're going out and getting coffee with him tonight.
Yes.
That is our plan because I have to see him. It's been a year. And so, but no, I totally agree with you. It's such a different vibe in the different cities. Like Nashville's very laid back and like the perfect writing environment because you don't feel any pressure or anything. But LA is so busy that you have this great backdrop for everything else, and I'm sure you get different ideas of different places. I mean, I know I do. Everything's more relaxed when I'm in Nashville, and everything's more high energy when it's here.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I was going to say, I have our Polaroid picture hanging up in my room now.
Aww. I took a Polaroid there. Oh, now I feel so special. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Why don't we go ahead and listen to another one of your songs?
What do we got, Garrett?
We have Done.
Done. This is Done by Colin Huntley.
I could be driving around the street, giving money away for free, and a gold-plated Maserati. I could be banging a big drum on a rocket to the sun, and nobody would ever see me. That's okay, that's alright, 'cause I know one day I'll have my own spotlight. I'm not done till the stages that I play are getting so big that the people say, well done, yeah, we know it all along. But I'm not done till the crowd's so loud you can't even hear what I'm singing about. I'll be opening up the ears of people all across the nation. Cause me and the guys in the band are making bigger and better plans to be everybody's favorite. Everyday jet planes, California then to Maine, back all before the sun goes down, yeah. Living the dream, hearing a scream, lighting a match of gasoline, turn it up and burn it down, yeah. I'm okay, I'm alright, cause I know one day I'll have my name in lights. I'm not done till the stages that I play are getting so big that the people say, well done, yeah, we knew it all along. I'm not done till the crowd's so loud you can't even hear what I'm singing about. I'm not done, I'm not done, I'm not done, I'm not I'm not done till the stages that I play are getting so big that the people say, well done, yeah, we knew it all. I'm not done till the crowd's so loud you can't even hear what I'm singing about. I'm not done, I'm not done, I'm not done.
All right, that was done by Colin Huntley.
Ariel's like, I hear the Ed Sheeran now.
Yeah, I did. I was telling Lauren. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
wow, I can really hear the Ed Sheeran influence in there.
Yeah, a little bit of the rappiness.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about earlier, for sure. Yeah.
So what was the inspiration? Do you have stories for each of the songs that you write, or do some of them you just kind of like come up with, or are they based on people?
I feel like most of my songs that I write, if I write a song about a person, normally the song evolves and it's about the next person that song applies to. So it's basically about whoever I decide it's about at that time. But,
Yeah.
but if it's a song about like just like a feeling
Yeah.
or something like that, it's usually something that I feel and then I write a song, and sometimes the actual meaning of the song changes from how I actually feel because stuff has to rhyme. So
Yeah.
but there's always an initial idea that
And always your
starts
feelings
with, and then it
change.
evolves from there.
Your feelings change also. I mean, one minute you could be really mad at someone, then you're just really frustrated, and then you don't care anymore, so you're just over it. So like you'll always have a different
Yeah.
feeling. So it'll always mean different to you when you're singing it each time, but it's based off an initial feeling, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I heard a really cool quote yesterday from John Mayer.
Of course.
Obviously, me paraphrasing it, but he said, it's interesting when you songwrite, you take a 20-second feeling and turn a 20-second feeling into a 4-minute song.
Mm-hmm.
So it can definitely change the initial feeling.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it can change lyrically. I mean, all depending on the lyrics you use, it can come across as being really mean or just like
Yeah.
not caring. It just songwriting is an interesting thing.
Definitely. So when you guys are performing, do you guys have like a little ritual that you say or a prayer before you go on stage, or kind of like any good luck charms, or how do you guys kind of do your thing?
I think our rituals are just to insult each other. Like, we're all really mean to each other.
You're just like, you better not mess up that riff or I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty mean to each other. Even on stage, we're mean to each other. But before we go on, we make sure all of our self-esteems are really low. And
That's a new one.
I mean, the only other thing we have... Sorry?
I said that's a new one.
Wait, so your self-esteem is so low when you go out, if you mess up, it can't get any lower, so it can only go up from there?
It's a good security blanket, for
Oh
sure.
my gosh, that's incredible.
It's the first thing Garrett said all day. He's like being silent. He's like, wait a second.
He's like,
This
wait,
guy's a
I'm onto
genius.
something.
Yeah, I mean, it works. And I mean, other than that, we wear crazy socks. That's the other thing. I mean, I don't play a show without crazy socks.
That's a new one. That's a little known fact about Colin Huntley, everybody.
What about any other secrets you can share? Maybe the fans would like to know. Any weird things like that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said, is there any other like weird kooky things like that the fans would want to know that you would share?
I mean, no. We probably eat at Taco Bell too much, but people know that.
What's your craziest fan experience that you've had at a show?
Craziest fan. Well, last night was actually pretty interesting. We were playing in the middle of a park, and it was for a benefit supporting cancer research. And we had some girls show up that were fans of the band, and one girl stormed the stage during the performance, which is the first for me. I've never had anybody do that.
Wow. She jumped on stage?
That was interesting.
So what did you do?
I mean, she didn't like grab me or anything, which would have made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
was there like a security
she-
person, or did she just like get off?
She just stood there. She just sat on stage, like at his feet, just like, play me some more music.
I mean, that's essentially what she did. She just came up and just kind of chilled. So like, it wasn't threatening or
Oh,
anything.
that's
It was
good,
just
at
surprising.
least.
That's good. All right. It's time. I think it's time for my favorite question.
Yep. Let's hear it.
All right. So my favorite question to ask people is who or what is the one artist / song you have on your iPod that is embarrassing, at least to you,
Embarrassing.
or unexpected,
Yeah,
I
or
guess,
kinda
because some
odd
people
or
don't have embarrassing
whatever.
music, but like something people would not imagine you having on your phone.
Okay. This doesn't count. I'm going to say this first, and then I'm going to say what the real answer is.
Okay.
First of all, I'm an enormous Taylor Swift fan,
Yeah,
completely shamelessly. That might surprise some people.
All right.
But the real answer is, I love this song so much, and it's "Birthday" by Katy Perry.
All
Wait,
right.
I
I
actually
don't-
don't know that one.
It's her newest single, I
What?
think. Yeah.
It just came out?
Well, yeah,
Not
it was,
off
it was
Prism,
on her
though,
album,
right?
though. But they're about to drop it as a single, but it's been on the album for a while, and I
Yeah,
heard it
okay.
whenever it came on Pandora when I was running once, and I was like, this song is awesome. So.
All right.
I'm
All
gonna
right. So
check
Katy
that
Perry
out.
and Taylor Swift.
That's
from-
such great workout music, though. Just listening to Pandora and Katy Perry pops on. I
Yeah.
could just imagine you getting really pumped.
Yeah, but especially when she's singing
Well,
a
it
song
was
about
like
like
an
a birthday
Imagine
cake.
Dragons station, and Katy Perry came out. I don't know what was going on.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Pandora being Pandora.
Yep.
You know what's funny is I actually for the first time I joined Spotify, and I never listened to any of those types of websites. I mean, I've been on Pandora before, but I never made an account or anything. I'm like, it's such a different way to listen to music.
It totally is.
It's different from an iPod or like iTunes. Like it was weird.
And it's free.
Spotify's changed
And
my
it's
life.
free. I know, right? It's like, all right. Am I following you on Spotify? I don't know. Anyway, but no, it's like such a different way to listen to music. But yeah, so when you just have it on shuffle, you can get the craziest music.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you guys had any like mishaps yet on stage? Forgetting lines or
too many
instruments
to
not
count.
working?
What was
or-
your favorite one of all your mess ups? Like, what's the biggest you've had?
I'm trying to think because there's so many things. Last night I got bit by a spider in the middle of a song.
Oh my god! Where'd you get? Where did it bite you?
It just bit me on the arm, and my
Oh
arm
my
was just
god!
itching.
Did you see the spider,
But,
or did you just feel the bite?
I mean, I just went with it, and at the end of the song, I think everybody kind of looked at me weird because when I first got bit, I didn't want to get bit multiple times, so I hit the spider off,
Yeah.
and I was playing guitar, and whenever you see a performer up there and he just hits himself in the middle of the show, that's going to throw you off the dance number. But I explained it afterwards. I don't think people really understood what I was talking about, but
Yeah. Can you please share the
Yeah.
story from when we performed at the LA County Fair and you cut your finger open in the middle of a song?
that's a great. I have to say, and I'll say this after the story, but yeah, the LA County Fair. It was the last show I played with the band. I was going to move back to Texas after that.
This is our last
But,
performance together. The tears are welling up in
But
my
yeah.
eyes.
Yes.
As we speak.
And at least we had this moment
I know.
to lighten the mood. But I was playing one of the guitar solos on one of our bigger songs. It was one of my bigger guitar solos, and sliced my thumb open on the stage, and I just started bleeding profusely on stage, and all these people were walking. I saw kids walking into the venue, like shielding their eyes.
They were scared. They were like terrified.
The horror.
And I remember looking
Yeah,
at
but we're
Colin.
not
I'm
that
like,
kind of band, and-
I'm like, Colin's kind of like messing up his solo. What's going on? I look over, his like hand is all red. I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
do we need to like get a Band-Aid or stop our set? He's like, no, it's just rock and roll. Let's just go. I'm like,
and roll back.
I'm like, your guitar is like covered in blood. You're having some problems. He's like, no, it's all good. Let's just keep going.
to this day, my guitar is still covered in blood. I never cleaned it. It's still got the stains.
What
so
kind
metal, dude.
It's so cold.
hardcore? What guitar? What kind of guitar do you play?
I play a lot of guitars. My favorite one, my acoustic, is my Martin D35. I'm in love with that guitar. But then I also play a Fender Roadworn Strat. I just love the way it feels, and then I also play a G&L guitar. It was actually the company that Leo Fender went and created after Fender, but it's also an amazing Strat-styled guitar. So those are the three that I play primarily.
So Fender guy.
Yeah, definitely a Strat guy.
Nice.
Garrett appreciates. He respects. All right, I think we got one more song from you. What do we got here? What's our last song by Colin Huntley?
It's You.
Okay. It is you.
Tell me, where did you come? Where did you come from? It's like I opened the door and walked into heaven. You're something I've seen before, something familiar. I swear I saw you in a dream I had last night. Baby, it's true. Like I dreamed you into life. You have that same perfect face and those same perfect eyes and that same perfect smile I saw. It's you. It's you. I was gonna stay home alone until I got that phone call. Yeah. God must have known you were here to send me where you are. Are you feeling what I feel? Imagination, or is it real? I swear I saw you in a dream I had last night. Baby, it's true. Like I dreamed you into life. You have that same perfect face and those same perfect eyes and that same perfect smile I saw. It's you. It's you. If I were to kiss you, would you disappear? Show me that it's not a dream and tell me, where do we go from here? I swear I saw you in a dream I had last night. Baby, it's true. Like I dreamed you into life. You have that same perfect face and those same perfect eyes and that same perfect smile I saw. It's you. It's you. It's you I know.
Yes, that was "It's You" by Colin Huntley.
So adorable. So cute lyrics.
Well, thank you.
As I like baby talk, compliment your song. Well, so
Yeah.
so upcoming shows that you have coming up for anyone in the area.
I should have looked at that while the song was playing. Dang it. Upcoming shows. We have some shows at a place called Roots Bistro coming up. We have a few. There's an acoustic show at a place called the Vineyard at Florence. It's a place that sells wine that you can get in if you're not 21. It's no biggie. Yeah. I mean, we're playing a couple private parties and stuff like that.
That's
but,
cool.
So
yeah.
if people need
Again,
show
you can
information,
check it out at the website.
check out his website. Check out his Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything else. Well, I think we're just running out of time. But we want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. And you need to come into LA so we
Yes,
can get
come
you
to
in
LA, be on the
studio so you can
show.
play for us. So you
I
can
think
play.
I'm going to be there. I'm trying to convince my parents to let me fly out there this summer. So
All right.
I'm gonna try.
Come in and do a live in studio performance because we would love to hear you and have you in studio.
Sounds good.
All right,
Yeah,
thank
I'd love
you.
to see y'all.
Thank you,
Thank you
Colin.
so much. Next week, we'll be back. Garrett and I are going to do our full review of the 21 Pilots concert that we're going to go sit through this Friday. So
excited.
very excited. So thank you guys all for listening. I'm Lauren Dair Owens.
And I'm Ariel Fournier.
And this has been The,
The
Music,
Music
Project.
I can't take them on my own.